Promiscuity and women. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Women who sleep with a man on the first date, second date, third date, fourth date, sleep with a lot of men over a 1 year period, 2 year period, 5 year period, 10 year period, whatever. This is going to be a nuanced topic. So you're going to have to be intelligent enough to understand nuance and how that works. There is a lot of men. There's a very common trend that is, I believe, increasing as men start finding their voice, we'll say. This trend where men are judgmental towards women that are promiscuous. They will attack women for it, call them sluts, basically say you're for the streets, all of this kind of stuff, right? So I'm going to give a very nuanced perspective on what is going on here. And by the way, just so you understand, my perspective is also that women should not be promiscuous, that it is a really big problem. Okay, so I'm not defending it, but I'm also not judgmental about it in any kind of way. There's a reason that men are judgmental about it. There's actually multiple reasons. And I'm going to illustrate this by starting with a story about myself. So when I was 23, I was a virgin. I couldn't get a woman to have sex with me to save my life. And I was very bitter about it. I was very unhappy about it. Understandably, all the friends around me were having sex and I wasn't, and women didn't like me. And I was very judgmental towards women. And one of the things I was really judgmental about was how women were sluts, how women would just give it up to these men that didn't like them or, weren't in an exclusive relationship with them. They're just hurting themselves, how they have no self-worth. And it was all coming from judgment, a lot of judgment. Now, what I ended up doing, I ended up taking a different path than the one that I was on. One that I don't actually recommend for men anymore. I think there's a better path. But what I did was I became a pickup artist. I learned how to be really successful with women by being authentic, by being genuine, but really focused on the superficial aspects of relating to women, like leading them into having sex, which is problematic. But one interesting thing that happened was I became completely non-judgmental towards women that were promiscuous. Just whatever their sexual things that they're doing, so whatever. And what I learned was, and that wasn't where I ended, but what I learned was from that experience, all of my judgmental energy, my being critical towards women, it was really all about me. It was about my insecurities. It was about what I wasn't getting. It was that women being promiscuous was threatening to my own identity as a man, to my ego. And I took it out on women, not to their faces, but basically mostly internally by being judgmental about their promiscuity. And of course, women are going to pick up on that, by the way. You want to be successful you want to be successful as a man with women, especially sexually with women. Better not be judgmental towards them because they're going to feel that. I mean, really low self-worth women, it's not going to matter, but hopefully you don't want those kind of women if you're a man. So yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of insecurity that is coming from men who do that. And they don't realize it. They don't realize it, and they don't want to realize it. Because to realize it, they would have to recognize and admit, hey, there's something really wrong with me. They've got a story that's going on, and it's a bit different than what my story was back then. But basically, the general story is there's something wrong with modern women. The reason that I'm not getting what I want, men are not getting what they want today is because of modern women, because of promiscuity, because of blah, blah, blah. It's all women's fault. Okay. And it's not that there's no truth to that. There's some truth to that. The problem is that's the story that men identify with to protect themselves from the more important truth, which is I'm no good with women and women don't like me. Okay. And this is especially true for men who build up an identity that's so common today of like being an alpha male and like, I'm alpha and I deserve a feminine woman, blah, blah, blah. But like no woman even wants you because you're full of just being judgmental and critical, and you're insecure and you can't even see yourself and you don't know how to lead. Right? That's a problem. That's a really big problem. While I don't really support men going the pickup artist route anymore, one great thing about it is that I learned how to be 100% responsible for what I'm getting. Right? Because I can't just blame women for not wanting to date me or not liking me. That's because of me. That's because of my approach. That's because of my energy. That's because of my mindset. That's because of my competency at leading, at my social skills, all of that stuff. Only me. Okay? Not because women are modern and blah, blah, blah. No, because of me. 100% because of me. Okay? So it's all about self-responsibility. And of course, today, so much of what I teach men and women is also about self-responsibility. It's all, if you if you're not getting what you want, guess who's responsible for that? Is it because of all the emasculated, for women, is it because men are so emasculated? No, it's because of you and how you're showing up. Men, if you're not getting what you want, is it because women are so modern and promiscuous and masculinized? No, it's because of you. And that's it. That's it. So back to promiscuity. There is a big problem with it for women. There is for men too, but in a different way. And we're going to just focus on topic here about women, right? So I'm not judgmental towards women for being promiscuous, but it does hurt women, right? Like, and this is going to be a topic for future videos too, but like, I really do think about, especially since having a daughter, like treating women the way that I would want my daughter to be treated by men, by a man, right? Uh, and a woman being promiscuous or even like having sex too soon, right? Because it's not necessarily the woman's mindset is like, I'm going to go out and get as many dicks inside me as possible in the next month. Okay. Maybe some women, but I don't think that's the norm. Okay. I think for most women, right? For most women, not the caricatures that most men think women are, but for most women, it's just they go out and they meet a guy that they like and they're attracted to, and they get horny, and they get really horny, and the man is leading her towards sex, and then she ends up having sex with him. And it was date number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. And it's often before commitment, right? Where the man has fully claimed her as like either, I mean, there's a range of what you could call real commitment, but at least his girlfriend, right? If not fiance or wife or whatever, right? So let's say at least his girlfriend. There's no mention of commitment, so she has sex with him, and then the man isn't interested in leading towards commitment, which isn't necessarily because she had sex with him. It's not necessarily because of that. A lot of the time it is, and it almost definitely is if she's having sex with a man out of low self-worth. I mean, it's really all out of low self-worth, but I'm more talking about the doing it for approval, or doing it to avoid disapproval, rather than just doing it because she's really horny and just like, I just really want to have sex. But even doing it for that reason, right? You've done it outside of commitment. Now you've got all these hormones that are making you bond to the guy. And then, of course, if he isn't interested in commitment, now typically it's going to be hard to let go of him, right? And now you're in an emotional mess, and now you don't even know if he can actually lead you, like if you're feeling needy or something, because of energetically bonding with him in that way. And then you end up pushing him away, or he was just never interested in commitment to begin with, and now you just end up getting hurt, right? And then until the next guy, and then you just do the same thing over and over again, right? So that's the main reason that I will tell women, hey, it's not a good idea to be promiscuous, right? Because you don't know if he can actually like take care of your heart, and you don't know if he's interested in taking care of your heart. So why would you be sleeping with him, right? That's a problem. Like, yes, if he's good in bed, those orgasms or that sexual experience is going to be really great. Okay. But there's lots of really short-term things in life that feel really good in the moment that aren't good for you, right? It's the same reason I don't advocate people getting high on cocaine, right? Cocaine, I've never actually done cocaine. I've done some drugs, but I've never done cocaine. Uh, Cocaine sounds really fun for a while. Is it a smart life choice to be doing cocaine and getting high every weekend? No, it's a really, really stupid choice. And it's the same kind of stupid choice that women make by being promiscuous with men before a man has actually fully claimed her, before a man's demonstrated that he can actually lead her. And when I say stupid, I'm not being judgmental. Okay, I'm not identified with it in any way. I'm just objectively, it is an unwise decision, not a very smart decision. There's a lot of consequences that come with that decision. Do you want to experience those consequences? For men, it's somewhat different. I'm not going to go too much into this. For a masculine man, he can have sex with a woman and he's not going to be really bonded with her anymore. It's completely different, right? And that's why there's all these women that it's typically ending up getting hurt by having sex with a man, and it's rarely the reverse. I mean, if a man's really feminized, then it might be different, but typically women aren't having sex with those men. It's very rare, at least like a year into a relationship, maybe. Yeah, so it's funny, it's interesting, because a lot of what these emasculated men, who are probably mostly sexless, like a lot of these men are sexless, a lot of what they're saying is actually true, but women aren't actually going to be typically interested in taking their advice, because it's all coming from ego. It's all coming from this victim mindset. And the other thing too is, like, men, and this is something that's so missing in our society. This is how I'll wrap things up. Men have not taken on the responsibility, just in, like, I'm talking society in general, of caring for women, just caring for women. Now, of course, that's probably partly because men don't even know how to do that in a relationship to begin with. And when I'm talking about caring for women, I'm not talking about like those white knight woke guys that are actually just caring for women in the hopes that someday a woman wants him to stick his wiener in her, right? I'm talking about genuinely caring, like from a father energy, where it's like, I care about women, not because I want to have sex with them, not because I'm insecure in any way that women are having sex with other men that aren't me, but just because I care about women. That's it. I care about women in society, right? Men used to, or not all men, but a lot of men used to be like that. And there's a lot less men like that today. Um, and for many reasons, right? There's a lot of wounding. Women don't respect men in general. That's going to be a big part of it as well. So they just feel shitty about, they just don't feel like being in that protector provider role. And also just the, call it like the whole societal mindset of using women in a disposable way, right? And of course, this is something that I've been a part of that I'm not proud of, right? But having been a pickup artist for much of my adult life, that was the mindset. And now, not in a way where like I want to hurt women, because I didn't really understand the a lot of the consequences for women, right? I genuinely wanted to show women a good time. I wanted to give a woman lots of orgasms. I wanted her to really enjoy her time with me. All of that stuff. But it's still coming from a uh not a truly devotional place, not a truly protective place, right? And I don't think a man can be there until he's willing to truly lead women out of promiscuity, but from a place of love and care, like truly love and care. Um, and but the funny thing about this is, I don't think men are going to get there, and I know I definitely wouldn't have been able to get there until they're able to be successful with women. Now, that doesn't mean plow through 100 women, have sex with all of them, or more, right? It can just mean be successful with one woman that he really likes, but not just sexually successful, but successful in general, where uh, he's commanding her respect. He's fully commanding her respect. Men really need to feel that respect from women to feel the desire to be protective of them. And I'm talking both one-on-one and more collectively as well. Respect really does inspire that. When a man is not a just a sociopath or someone that's truly out to use women, right? Because there's some men that are not going to be responsive to that. But of course, we want to help women avoid that at all costs. We want to help women avoid those kind of men. And we certainly want to help men avoid being those kind of men, and if and leading themselves out of that, because of course that's all coming from wounding as well. This is going to be necessary for society to truly change and grow up. It's going to require a really big mindset shift, and it's going to mean women learning how to respect men, and it's going to mean men learning how to truly cherish women, take care of women, protect women from that father energy. That's what I help men and women do. And let's just zero in on just relationships for a moment, because I know that a lot of people are not into the whole bigger picture societal perspective, but individually, yeah, we're all selfish and we all want love. We all want, all women want a man to take care of her, and all men want a woman who fully respects him, wants to submit to him. I'm talking about all men and women with their instincts somewhat online. Obviously, there's all the hopeless people that they're not there yet, but people who generally follow me, yeah, that's what you want, right? Men want a woman who is submissive, who is grateful for him, who is receptive to his advice, to what he's telling her, who wants to meet her needs, who wants to cherish her. Sorry, I think I flipped a few of those around. Man wants a woman who's submissive, wants a woman who's submissive, who respects him, who's grateful for him, and yeah, will follow his lead, right, without resisting, without arguing. That's what a man wants. What a woman wants is a man who is willing to step up and lead her, take care of her, cherish her, protect her, not just physically, but also emotionally, and including from himself, right? Including from his own reactivity, from his own judgmental reactions, right? And he's just leading her with love. And that's something that both men and women can shift, right? That's something that men and women can shift in their experience. If you're not getting that right now, right? If you're not experiencing that kind of devotion from a man or submission from a woman, that's up to you. That's up to you to change. Do not wait for me and other people to change society so that all men are masculine or all women are feminine, so that finally they are dateable, or fix your partner if you're in a relationship. No, you start right now with you. You start right now with you. You start by recognizing that the reason that you're not getting what you want is because of how you are showing up. Okay, it's because of how you are showing up, and you're in charge of that. You're responsible for that. You can do something about that, but only if you decide that you want to. Only if you decide that it's worth it. Only if you open yourself to the possibility that, yeah, you can actually do it alone. You can actually make these changes alone. It's stepping out of a victim mindset, realizing that it's all on you. It's about self-responsibility. And that's what I help men and women do. That's what we do in our in our program, in our academy program, where we work with men and women on a really deep level, but also in our masterclass, also in my books, right? It's where I teach men and women how to communicate, how to shift how you show up, how to shift how you communicate, so that you can get a totally different response from men. Women get a different response from men by inspiring them to step up, and men get a different response from women by leading them into letting go, into out of the resistance, into feeling their feelings, and into using feminine communication with them. And if you haven't started learning, if you haven't read my books yet, if you haven't joined my masterclass yet, what are you waiting for? Let's get a move on. Let's help you start making these shifts. Go to relationshipyourdreams.com, sign up for the masterclass, buy the books, start learning. Start actually learning. Start actually applying. You can do it, but you got to choose. Relationshipyourdreams.com. Website is right below my face. Just put that into your web browser, click on it, and get started. Start making these shifts. I'll see you on the masterclass. Our next one's in September. Don't miss it. 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks. I'll see you there.